Hello, everybody, it's Rose. I was gonna say welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan, but this is not Cheap Lazy Vegan. This is my vlog channel. Hi guys. I never do sit down videos on my vlog channel, but I thought, hey, I have this set up already. I might as well. So, hope you're excited. Today's topic, as you guys can see by the title of this video, is going to be about the pros and cons of being a YouTuber versus working a 9-to-5 job. Obviously, I am only speaking from my own personal experience. I can't speak for everyone else. I totally understand that obviously there are multiple types of YouTubers out there and also tons and tons of different types of 9-to-5 jobs. But I think other YouTubers and other people may be able to relate. So if you guys don't know me, hi, I'm Rose, and I have a YouTube channel called Cheap Lazy Vegan, and that is where I make a full-time income. So I have done that for, well, I've been doing it full-time for about a year and a half. I've had the channel for 3 years total, almost. 3 years, May 2018, because I started it in May 2015, and then I was doing it part-time. Anyways, basically, I've been doing it full-time for about a year and a half, and that is my main source of income. I have also worked in a 9-to-5 job previously. I've worked in 3 different 9-to-5 jobs. I do have a little bit more than just one office job experience. So I have worked in 9-to-5 jobs for about 3.5 years. And before that, of course, I was working different jobs while I was in school and in university. I was working, part-time jobs, usually at restaurants or where else did I work? Mostly restaurant jobs. But anyways, that's kind of my background in work, I guess. My very, very, very summarized background. So I wanted to discuss with you guys what I believe are the good and the bad of doing YouTube for a living versus doing 9-to-5. Another thing that I do want to mention is that I love what I do. Okay, this is by far the best job I've ever had. Being a YouTuber is the best job I've ever had. It is my dream job. I can't imagine doing anything else at this moment. When I do talk about the negative things, do still remember that this is still by far the best job I've ever had, and I still completely love what I do. But just because you are doing a job that you love or you are doing your dream job does not mean that everything's going to be perfect. It sounds kind of obvious when I say it out loud, but I don't think people actually understand that you are allowed to have struggles in a job that you love. You are allowed to think this sucks about this job. Not everything is going to be perfect simply because you have a job that you love. But anyways, I digress. Let's continue. So I have notes. Let's take out the notes. Okay. I thought about this last night as I was trying to sleep, Okay, so let's talk about some of the good stuff. The pros. Let's start with the good stuff. The best thing about being a YouTuber is passion, is being able to talk about things, do things that you personally have a passion for and that you are interested in, simply because you have created your job. Essentially, I feel that I created this job that I have rather than applied for a job that already existed and I just happened to fill that role. Whereas I created this based on what I was interested in, what I was passionate about, and it just kind of naturally became a job rather than me just going into a job, if that makes sense. I found that when I was looking for office work or office jobs, it was so hard for me to find anything that I was even remotely interested in simply because I just did not care about 90% of the jobs out there. I just needed a job to pay the bills, and so I would just apply for whatever I could kind of fit into based on my skill set and based on my education. But with this job, with YouTube, I started it as a hobby, part-time. I just enjoyed making videos, watching videos. I enjoyed talking about veganism and vegan food, and it just kind of progressed into a job, and that's what makes this job so great. I created it myself based on my own passions. So the passion that I have for this job is beyond what I could have in any other job. That is a great thing. That is a great thing. Another great thing is creativity in your own work and creative, control over your own work. So obviously YouTube is a creative platform. You make videos and all that good stuff. It's a media, it's like the new television. So I feel that I have creative control over everything I do because this is my channel. Obviously, I need to take into account, what the audience wants to see and all this other stuff. But in the end, I am my own boss. I am the creative controller or whatever. And that is something that 9-to-5 jobs usually do not provide. If you are working a 9-to-5 job, if you're working in an office, most of the time you are going to have a boss. You are going to have people looking at your work and saying this isn't good enough or this is this, or taking down your ideas or whatever. Whereas YouTube, you can kind of just do whatever you want. Of course, some people may not like it, but you're still your own boss. Which brings me to the next point. You are your own boss. This is definitely a pro for me. I am pretty independent. I like to just kind of do my own thing, if you will, you know? Not that I mind having a boss. Like, I guess I don't mind, but at the same time, I just did not like the idea of someone else dictating how I spend my time. You know, just someone watching over me like that versus me deciding my own hours, deciding what I do. There is a big difference here. I really liked my old bosses, most of them anyway. I didn't really have a problem with my old bosses or anything like that, but there is a difference between that and being your own boss, just having that control. Another positive thing about being a YouTuber is no office politics. Seriously, office politics drives me insane. So much unnecessary, like, politics. I don't even know how to like even describe it. Like having to go to stupid meetings that you know are useless, but you're going because if you don't go, then you're gonna be looked on as like not a team player or something like that. You know that kind of weird stuff that you kind of learn and pick up as you work at the office. I don't even know how to explain office politics, but like you know what I mean when you work in an office. Like there's all of this like unnecessary like back and forth and drama and like and I don't have to deal with it as a YouTuber. I should really be careful what I say in case YouTube doesn't work out and I have to go back to the office. Okay. This one is huge, this next one. Not trading in my time for money. So my productivity is higher, which is another pro. Here we go, another pro. My productivity is much higher. My time is used much more efficiently because I'm not trading in my time for money. If I'm not working, I'm not working. If I am working, I'm working. Whereas when you work in an office, you are usually working a 40-hour week job and you have to be there for those 40 hours no matter what, even if you may not even have that much to do. This is why I strongly believe there are like 1,000,001 unnecessary meetings that take like an hour to 2 hours because there are 8 hours to fill in a day. How much work could you possibly do in that time? And how much work are you actually doing? The thing is, I work more now than I ever have before. Actual work, okay? But the amount of time that I spend in an office that I felt like I was wasting my life away, I just can't even. When I used to work at an office, I would go into the office and I would sometimes not have that much work, right? There are days that are like that. There are days when they're busy and there are many, many days when you're just kind of like, I'm not really doing that much. But then you have to sit there and you have to actually give in those 8 hours a day. Just sitting there, just wasting away when I could be doing so much more with my time, whether resting or going out or, you know, working on other projects or like whatever else it may be. I could be doing that, but instead I'm sitting here twiddling, what do they call it? Twiddling your fingers. Another pro is working from home. I guess this could be a pro. I'm gonna talk about it in a con sort of way later, but in some ways it's wonderful. You know, I don't have to commute. Oh yeah, no commuting. That's very, very good. The fact that I don't have to like commute in a sweaty, nasty, hot tube, which I used to live in London, so yeah, that was horrible. The commute was just depressing. Okay, now the fun stuff. Let's talk about the bad stuff. Okay, I know y'all wanna hear the bad stuff. So one of the obvious bad things is the fact that it is an unstable career. It's still very new. Being a YouTuber, being an online, you know, marketer or online content creator, whatever you want to call it, it's still a very new thing and you just don't really know. And with any entrepreneurial job or any job where you work for yourself, there is a certain level of instability that, you know, you may not experience to the same level when you are working in an office. There is, of course, always a chance that you could get fired or laid off at an office and it's still not completely stable, but at the same time, as a YouTuber, the pay that you get is going to fluctuate month to month. Some months you may be paid a lot, and then some months it's gonna go down, and you just never know if it's ever gonna go back up. So there's definitely a level of instability that, you know, if you were working as a salaried employee, you wouldn't have to experience. Yeah, the instability, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. Another negative thing is that you probably don't know what you're doing half the time. I feel like I've just been thrown into the deep end and I kind of have to figure out how to like stay afloat sometimes. YouTubing, like I said, is a very new thing. It's not a traditional job. Because I don't have my own boss, I don't have anyone to really ask if I have some weird question about YouTube and like making money on YouTube or all this stuff. You kind of have to figure things out on your own. I'm relatively independent, so I can kind of do it, but even then, even so, it is still kind of tough for me because I don't know where to go, what to ask, how, what, where. Like, Google has now become my boss, basically. Yes. Another negative thing, if you can, I mean, this one's kind of a small one, but people not taking you seriously. People thinking that your job is just, you know, you just dicking around with a camera, like, hi. Yes, that's what it takes to be a YouTuber. No. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it, guys, but people do not necessarily see it that way because it's such a new thing and it seems really fun and exciting, and from the outside it seems like the best job. It seems like such an easy job. People automatically assume that you're sitting around in your underwear doing absolutely nothing, just holding a camera in your face all day. But that is just not true, guys. If you take this as a full-time job, if you take it seriously, there is so much work to be done, okay? Let me just give you a little lecture for 2 seconds in case you're one of those people that think that YouTubers don't do anything. Obviously, again, I'm speaking from my experience, and obviously the amount of work that certain YouTubers put into their videos is a lot more than other YouTubers. I will tell you one thing, I've never worked this hard in my life. Honestly, I've never worked this hard in my life. I've never actually physically worked this much. Like I talked about before, of course, I used to do 9 to 5, so I would physically be there for 8 hours. But when I work 8 hours in terms of my YouTubing, I am actually working 8 hours. Like I'm not just sitting there being like, oh, let me just type an email to my friend. Think about it, right? YouTubing is a certain level of production. Okay, we're making video. Traditionally, this type of video, this type of broadcasting would require an entire crew of people doing this job. So YouTubers basically do all of these jobs in one person. Obviously, the scale is different, but it is a lot of work, people, to be one person that does all of these things, even if it's in a smaller scale. For example, I film my own video. I film my own videos. I come up why can't I speak? I come up with my own video ideas. I film my own videos. This is an easy video for me to film because I can just stay here. But when I'm filming a recipe video, it's a little bit more complicated. Set up lights. I go out and buy products I need. If I need to film a recipe video, I do all of the cleanup afterwards. Of course, I edit my own videos, post all those things on social media. Trying to be jack of all trades is actually not easy, and it is a lot of work. Again, I'm not saying this is the worst job ever, and I'm saying that this is still a great job, but it's a job, okay? People thinking that YouTubing is not a job can be kind of frustrating, and we all want to be kind of, I guess, recognized for what we do, and we all want to feel that what we do is important, but a lot of people don't necessarily see it that way. Because it's not a normal job, they don't think of it as a job. They think it's just you dicking around with a camera. But if someone is doing YouTube full-time, I can almost guarantee you that they are probably working really hard, because otherwise everyone would be doing this full-time if it was that easy. Okay, so that was my little lecture for y'all. Okay, next. Okay, this is a big one, okay. Work-life balance. Because when you work at an office, you're physically at the location, first of all. 9 to 5. I mean, obviously I'm only speaking for certain jobs. I know that other people, they constantly work even throughout the night or whatever. I've never done that before. But usually you leave the work where it belongs. In the office, on your office computer, like whatever. Whereas when you're a YouTuber, there is no solid line between work and your actual personal life. It kind of all meshes together in a way. So sometimes it can feel like you're constantly working. Like you don't ever feel like you can shut off completely. I think this is more so true for people that do like vlogging channels or people that do very personal type of videos, because then they're probably filming their life in every aspect, so they're like literally always working. But even for me, someone that does like food videos, I'm not vlogging every day, I still find it really hard to just turn it off because I'm always working. I have my phone with me all the time. I have notifications coming in all the time. I could always be responding to comments. So it just kind of feels overwhelming sometimes. And I do feel like I need to like just actually be like, okay, I need to stop working. You know? And another negative thing is that there's always work to be done. There's always more work to be done. The work piles up and you never, ever, ever feel like you have caught up. Maybe that's just me, but it can be very overwhelming, and I guess it's a good thing. It's actually a good thing to be this busy, and that means I have work going on, I have things going on. It's actually a good thing, but at the same time, you never really feel like you're done. Like you're like it's always like you're constantly working, and then when you're not working you feel like you should be working because you could be working, you know what I mean? So this is one of the bad things about not trading in time for money, because when you're trading your work for money, you feel like you need to always be working, because then, you know, this time that you're spending sitting around, you know, talking to your friends, you could be spending doing your job and making more money and growing your business and growing your YouTube channel and all of that stuff. But it is very important, people, to take a step back, because not everything is about money. Not everything is about growing your business. You need to have the balance. So I try to remind myself of that. I try to have a well-balanced lifestyle, which I think I do. But even then, it is tough. It is tough to be like, okay, I need to stop working. Another negative thing about being a YouTuber versus 9 to 5 is that you have lack of structure. Lack of structure can be a very bad thing for some people, and it can be kind of depressing at times, because some people need to be at a certain place at a certain time and have like a schedule. Not just some people, like I feel like I also need like a bit of a schedule. Without that, you're just kind of like, what do I do with my life? Because when you have too much free time, sometimes it's not actually a good thing. I don't know, it's hard to explain. I think I've figured it out now where I've kind of gotten used to it, but initially when I started doing this full time, like it was kind of tough for me, because I was like, oh my god, like I don't know how to even like structure my day. Like you kind of have to like figure these things out on your own, and it can be kind of like daunting in the beginning, especially when you're transitioning from working at an office full time to like working for yourself. That transition can be kind of a tough process because you're not used to it. You're not used to the lack of structure. You're not used to somebody not watching over you. You're not used to being your own boss. So that can be kind of like, oh my god, what do I do with my time? What do I do with my life? I can technically sleep in until 12 if I want to. I can technically just do nothing all day. So yeah, I think it does require a lot of self-discipline to be a YouTuber sometimes, because you have to force yourself to do the work. Otherwise, the work is not going to get done. Okay, that's another thing. Okay, that's another negative thing that I can add on that I didn't think about before. The work will not get done if you don't do the work. If you work in an office, most of the time, if you go on vacation, for example, you will have a backup person that will do the job for you when you are gone, all of that good stuff. You will have other people that can do your job, that can cover for you. When you are a YouTuber and you're working for yourself, you do not have that luxury. You are literally just, it's all on you. If I don't make a video, there will be no videos ever. If I don't edit my video, no one else is going to edit. I should probably get an editor. Yes. The work will not get done. If you don't do the work will not get done. So if I go on vacation, for example, I need to work extra hard before I go on vacation, or work while I'm on vacation, or work extra hard when I'm done vacation, or usually all of the above. So it can be, like that's a lot of pressure, that's a lot of stress. You know, okay, I feel like this video is, it's a long video, okay. Of course, another negative thing would be, you know, putting yourself out there, making yourself vulnerable to the world, and of course, the hate comments, okay? I don't personally get that many hate comments. Where's the wood? Knock on wood. I don't get that many hate comments. I mean, I do recipe videos. I mean, like, how much could you possibly hate me, okay? Because I do like recipe videos and I don't really do like super personal videos, I guess. I don't really get a lot of hate, but you know, I do get some, and you know, that sometimes can be like, I mean, it doesn't really bother me simply because I think I'm just old and I'm just like, I don't really care what you think. I think if you're like younger especially, it can be a lot, you know, the amount of criticism you could possibly get for like doing something like random in a video, it's just ridiculous. And YouTube can be very toxic sometimes, so that can be a very, very negative thing, and especially if you're very sensitive to these things, it can be very difficult, you know. Okay, last but not least, I think this is the biggest one of the biggest ones, for me anyway, is loneliness. Wow, things just got really dark. It just got really deep, okay? Loneliness. I don't think people understand the extent to which this can be a very lonely job. So I actually own a cafe. We recently opened it up in January. So I actually spend a lot of time there where I can interact with people. And so it's actually a really good balance for me in a way, even though I'm working a little bit too much, but that's a different story. But because I get, you know, the good aspect of actually working from home, but I also get the good aspect of actually being physically at a location where I can interact with people, this is a good balance for me. But initially when I first started doing YouTube full time, and I was spending most of my time at home doing the work, I felt really weird. Like, I don't know if it was loneliness or like a certain level of like, oh my God, like I need human interaction. I guess that is loneliness in a way. This lack of human interaction because you're working from home, that can be very depressing. Like, it's actually kind of depressing. And I think this is the reason why a lot of people that do YouTube are kind of introverted, because I feel like if you're introverted, it's a little bit easier for you to be like at home, working from home, all that stuff. But even then, I do think I've talked about this before, but I do think that even if you are introverted, this is probably not healthy to like stay home and like just be alone all day. It's kind of ironic because we are on social media and we are, you know, interacting with people all the time digitally, but we all know that digital social interaction is not the same as actual face-to-face human communication, which is vital to our survival, people. We are very social creatures. We need to interact. And in an office, even if you may hate your coworkers and you may, well, maybe not if you hate your coworkers, but even if you may think those little interactions at the office are just like annoying and stupid and like whatever, it actually makes a difference. Okay, like going out for those, maybe that's why people have meetings, to have human interaction. I don't know. But you know, actually like those team lunches or team nights out or those Christmas parties, those office parties, like I miss those. I miss those interactions, even if there is a lot of small talk and stupid stuff and politics. Even then, sometimes you just kind of miss being part of something. You miss being part of, you know, an office. You miss being part of a company rather than you're just floating in this digital space called YouTube. Obviously, it's different for people that live in like LA, for example, where there's like YouTubers everywhere. It's like everywhere you turn, it's like a YouTuber, and you probably have like a big circle of YouTube friends and you probably film things together and collab. But if you don't live in like those places, you're probably just like staying at home most of the time, just filming your own videos and just editing and just being in your own little bubble. So I think it's important, if you are a YouTuber, maybe you're starting out being a full-time YouTuber, to get yourself out there, do social things more, force yourself to be social. I know I seem like an extrovert, you know, but I like to see myself as an ambivert, I think that's the term, where I'm kind of a mix of both introverted and extroverted. I don't have a problem interacting with new people. I like talking to new people, like I don't mind that, but at the same time, I do need my own time. So I need a mix of both. So yeah, like being at home all day, every day, just in my own head is not good, guys. It's not good. That's one very, very, very bad thing about being a YouTuber, which you probably won't even realize until you are one and you spend all day at home and think, oh my God, this is so depressing. So yes, human interaction, very important. That is the moral of the story, human interaction. That's it, guys. Did you find this video interesting? Let me know down below. Did you find it interesting? Do you want more videos like this? I don't know. I'm thinking about, you know, I could do more sit down talking videos on my vlog channel, perhaps. I should probably not say this because I always say I'm going to do something and I don't do it. But perhaps I would love to do more videos on the vlog channel. I just don't have time, but I want to. Okay, the thought is there. The thought is there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to check out my main channel, if you haven't already, check it out. Link is down below to my main channel. And of course, if you are new to this vlog channel, don't forget to subscribe to this vlog channel for more videos. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.